Today I'm breaking down the fall fashion trends that are starting to feel a bit dated, and more importantly, what to wear instead. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome to my channel. Now, fall is fast approaching, whether we like to admit it or not. And I always think at this time of year, it's quite a good opportunity to take a closer look at our wardrobes and look at what needs a little tweak or what we can swap out or just make a few little changes to get ourselves ready for the new season. So today I'm sharing some trends that I do think it's time to move on from, and you may not like what you're about to hear, but I do think it's going to help you create outfits that make you look and feel fresh this season. Now, this first one is probably going to be the most controversial, and it is skinny jeans. Now, I've talked quite a bit over the last couple of months about skinny jeans. They did make a bit of a return, but I do think that there is a much better option. Super skinny, figure-hugging jeans are, I think, one of the trickiest trends to wear well. Now, I will qualify that because obviously some people can wear anything and wear it well, but I do think skinny jeans are just super hard to make look amazing. What I do suggest you do, if you don't want to go for a wide leg jean or a barrel leg like I'm currently wearing, then simply opt for a slim line straight leg jean. If you are feeling a little tired of the wider fits, a slim line jean which has more of a straight leg is going to be great for you, or a slightly relaxed jean that is tapered so that it kind of gives you a little bit of relief from all of that fabric that has been sort of pooling around our shoes in the last couple of seasons. I really just think we've got to the point in fashion where we have plenty of other options over and above skinny jeans that are going to just look a little more classic, more timeless, and just more modern and fresh. One of the big trends for fall this year is mini skirts. Now, I, for one, think that minis are impractical at the best of times, let alone in the cooler months. But designers seem to push this mini skirt trend really hard on the runways for fall, winter this year. So what I'm suggesting is to give the minis an absolute miss and replace them with another trend that is far more versatile, and that is a midi skirt with a very feminine flair to it. Now, that's also a trend that's very much happening this season. They're easy to style with boots. They'll feel fashion forward, they're comfortable, and you don't have to sacrifice any style. Another style of skirt that's trending, if the midi with a little bit of a floaty feel to it isn't your vibe, is a simple pencil skirt. And some of the pencil skirts are in stretchy fabrics that are going to be comfy and cozy, but give you that sort of femininity of a skirt. So I do think that there are better options than wearing mini skirts. And while I remember, I've been getting asked a lot lately about what skin products I use. I'm 58 and you guys have been leaving some really lovely comments about my skin. And I certainly try and do everything I can to keep it looking as good as I possibly can for my age. But one thing I have incorporated into my routine lately has been red light therapy. Now, I've dabbled with red light therapy a little bit over the last couple of years, but it turns out not all red light therapy masks are the same. And I found this out from one of my favorite skincare specialists, Dr. Yoon. I discovered him on TikTok and he's super famous and knows all the best products to use, and he suggested a product from the brand I Restore, and it's called the Illumina Face Mask. And let me show you here. I've been using it for a while now and have actually noticed a huge difference. And one of the ways that I noticed the biggest difference was, you guys probably know I've been in the States recently with my sons, and one of the days we went on an airboat ride down in Florida. I didn't take a hat with me, which is something I would never normally forget to do. I didn't take the hat because I just felt that on the airboat it was going to fly off. But what happened was, even though I had loads of sunscreen on, I still got some pigmentation coming up. And since I've been back, I've been religiously using this mask 3 times a week, and I've noticed a real reduction in the pigmentation that I got from that day in the sun. And if you're wondering what red light therapy is all about, it's perfect for someone like me because the main thing that it does is that it boosts collagen production. And as we know, as we get older, that collagen production decreases, and at my age, it's in free fall. So anything I can do to increase and improve that collagen production is a good thing. And that's where red light therapy really comes into play. Now, I've been using this first setting the most of all, and it's red light and infrared. So the red light boosts collagen, and it also helps to improve your skin's elasticity. And the infrared light also works on reducing pigmentation, which has been amazing for me. It's actually comfortable. It doesn't move when you move your head, which is good. So you can do what you normally do, or like me, I tend to take a little bit of time out and relax on the couch and hope that no one comes to the front door when I'm doing my 10-minute treatment. Now, I'm really delighted to say that the team at iRestore are giving you the chance to get your hands on one of these and save up to $305 with my code, which is Leonie, and the link is in the description box below. So that's a limited time and a very generous discount if you want to grab yourself one of these fab red light therapy masks yourself. Now, remember, they're not all the same, so you are going to see some that are different prices, but at the end of the day, I think you get what you pay for. And if you are going to go down this route, you want to opt for a product that's tried and tested, comes really highly recommended by medical professionals and people like myself who have used it and swear by it. So definitely, if you are in the market to do your skin a favor and make some improvements and help with collagen production and elasticity and try and do everything you can to keep your skin looking as good as you can for as long as you can, then I can hand on heart recommend this cool little device. As I said, it is linked in the description box below, and for a limited time there is that $200 discount. So definitely take advantage of it. Anyway, let's get back on to these trends. Now, one of the other fashion trends that I did see designers sharing on the runway for fall was a paper bag style waist. Now, we know that waists have been on the rise. In fact, when I think about it, waists have been rising, they've been lowering, they've been rising. I suppose that's fashion, but one of the trends that I did see quite a bit of was paper bag waists. Now, I do think that this is a really tricky trend because it makes layering difficult and it also adds a lot of extra volume. And certainly, I think there are plenty of us over a certain age that don't need that extra volume around our midriff. It's definitely an easier pant style to wear in the warmer months when you can team it back with this, say, a simple tank or a fitted tee. But wearing this sort of paper bag style over fall, winter is just a tricky trend to pull off and pull off well. What I'd recommend instead is just going for a simple, clean, high-waisted style trouser with sort of more of a relaxed leg. Doesn't have to be a super wide leg, or even a barrel leg style pant. Now, we've seen lots of barrel leg style jeans, and I know that this is a look that definitely divides you guys because you're either someone that's into this look or you're not. I particularly love them, and I do say that they suit most body types. It's about trying it on and finding the right shape and size barrel for you. A really extreme kind of exaggerated barrel leg is going to perhaps overwhelm more of a petite frame. So there are options there, but I do think both of these styles can work really well. Some of the pants that I've seen are made out of like a a lovely, stretchy, almost sweatshirt style fabric. But yet they look tailored. So you get that real versatility because they're comfortable and cozy, but they look a little bit smarter than they actually are as well. So I do think that there are much better options out there than the good old paper bag waist, especially for fall, winter. And of course, with this video, if there are trends that I discuss that you absolutely love and you're not going to part with them, well, that is well and good. I do think that if we find something that makes us feel amazing and it makes us feel the best version of ourselves, then that is a trend that is right for us regardless. Now, I didn't think I'd be saying this one, but I do think that your classic plaid shacket has seen better days. And while I do think a plaid shacket is something that is really practical and it's going to be cozy and they generally are long enough to sort of cover you behind, I do tend to think that they are starting to just look a little bit tired and a little bit last season or the season before. So they're fine to wear if you're not looking or trying to look a little fashion forward or you're just at home relaxing. But I do think they have seen better days. Now, when it comes to swapping your shacket out, what I would suggest is if you're struggling to do this and you are really wedded to wearing shackets, because after all, they are super practical and comfortable, and I'm personally a real fan, what I would suggest you do is perhaps give your plaid shacket a bit of a rest for a season and maybe opt for, say, a denim shacket, which in my mind just does create a kind of a modern, easy and less expected look. If you prefer something that's just a little bit more tailored or a little bit more polished, then what I would suggest is more of a cropped style jacket. And what I have seen this season, it's almost a jacket that's kind of somewhere in between a bomber and a straight tailored cropped jacket. Some of them have some really nice gathering details around the cuffs and just a little bit sort of blousey, but still that slightly cropped length. And if you like a slightly longer layer underneath, they look great worn layered with something a little longer underneath. But these kind of cropped jackets are going to give you a little bit more of a tailored look, but they're also going to still be comfortable and kind of really good worn day to day as well. One of the other looks that I think that we need to retire right now is wearing tunics over leggings or over pants. Now, I know that the whole trend for wearing pants under dresses and skirts is very much happening at the moment, but in particular wearing a tunic style, which starts to just look like a uniform. And I do see it regularly, a long kind of tunic style sweater dress or just a classic tunic worn over pants. It's just seen better days. It's not something that looks modern or fresh. Now, I'm not saying that we should avoid the dresses and skirts over pants look altogether. What I am saying, instead of just wearing a tailored sort of tunic or a boring style tunic, opt for something that's a little bit more interesting, whether it be, say, a shirt dress or a simple oversized button down with leggings or slim pants and a blazer. I still think that this look is a good one. It's got merit and it's definitely very current. I do think we just need to move away from wearing that sort of classic tunic style with it. And we've got some options here in more of a sort of shirting style dress or oversized shirt instead. Now, something else that is looking, in my mind, a little outdated is those faux fur vests. Now, I think they've just been overdone. We've seen them season after season and they're just looking a little bit tired, a little bit sort of clunky, and I think we can do better. So instead of the faux fur chunky vests, what I would suggest is looking for vests that are quilted Or if you are not into the kind of quilted vest look, then look for a quilted jacket or coat. Quilting is very much happening for fall. We did see it last fall, winter, but it's gaining momentum. It's here. There's been lots of cute little quilted vests that I've seen. And so if you want to update that faux fur or faux fur gilet or vest, what I would suggest is looking at some of these cute little quilted vests instead. And if the quilted vest look isn't for you, then just go for a quilted coat or a jacket. It's a really lovely modern outerwear update. Something else that I think that we should call time on is those long line cardigans. You know, the ones that are sort of really drapey and tend to just swallow you up. And I get the fact that they are really comfy and warm and snuggly, but there are better options this season. And I do think that those drapey long line cardigans can just really age you as well. Now, instead, I would swap out my long line cardigan for more of a cropped style cardigan. Now, this season, there are going to be loads of beautiful, bright colored cardigans on offer. Now, I think that they're a really easy layering piece. You can layer a longer line underneath if you prefer to sort of cover up your behind, but they're a great layering piece that add just an extra element of color, interest, and texture to an outfit. Also, they're practical. You can peel them off if you get too hot, put them on. You can wear them buttoned up or open or just with one button done at the top. You can create some different looks with a simple cardigan, but this season expect to see lots of cardigans. They're mostly cropped or certainly to your waist, and they're in all sorts of beautiful, bright colors as well, which I think is perfect for the cooler months. It's all about dopamine dressing when it comes to winter for me. I like to wear anything that's going to make me at least feel a little bit more upbeat, even if the weather isn't playing ball. And if you really don't want to part with those longer line cardigans, what you could do is use a belt just to give it a little bit of shape and to give it a little bit more of an update. And if you're really brave, add a couple of belts for a bit of a layered look. That's very much a happening fashion-forward trend for fall, layering different belts together, but certainly adding some shape and nipping those longer line layering pieces in at the waist is going to give you probably a bit of a fresher look, if you will. So that's if you can't part with your longer line cardies, definitely play around with a belt. Now, next up is going to be a little bit controversial, but I am suggesting that we say goodbye to head to toe beige. While neutrals will never die, and certainly monochrome dressing is something that I'm a huge fan of personally, I do think it's a great way to dress and it's an easy way to dress. When it comes to the cooler months, there are some better options. What I would swap out these lighter neutrals for is some beautiful, deep, rich colors that are happening for fall. So colors like oxblood, real deep sort of foresty greens, of course chocolate brown, which is a color that I've talked about quite a bit on my channel, which is just going from strength to strength. There's also navy. And if you are thinking about your neutrals, then make sure they've got a bit of texture, especially for fall, just to give them that element of coziness and kind of make them a little bit fall appropriate. And tonal dressing is still in, don't get me wrong. All I'm suggesting here is that we add in some depth with the use of some of these colors just to create some warmth and some interest to some of these neutrals that we've seen quite a lot of lately. What I do think we need to really steer clear of is that low quality, cheap leather look pieces. They seem to make a lot of noise when you walk, they crackle, they don't wear well. I do think we've just been flooded with these pieces that are just low quality and don't look good. They tend to just cheapen an entire outfit. Instead, I would opt for a real quality vegan leather, and you can generally tell the difference. They're very soft, they're buttery, they really mimic a real leather. Or if budget allows, and this is right for you, opt for a real leather. Real leather tends to look better with time. The more it sort of wears, the better it tends to look, whereas the low quality sort of fake leathers just don't last well and don't wear well. So I would say move those aside and let's just say no to those lower quality items and either stick with a better quality vegan leather, faux leather option that is really buttery soft and you can feel it and see it when you get your hands on these pieces, or just opt for real leather. So what do you think? Are any of these trends still lingering in your closet? If they are, I would love to know which ones you are holding on to or which one of the trends that I've talked about today that you're tempted to try.